This is the Louie T Network.
Then my team was 6-10, and we ain't smell the playoffs. Then it gets even better when your team makes the playoffs.
Who else could it be but me, your man, Louie T? Welcome to Wildcard Weekend in the National Football League here on the Louie T Network as I give you continuous coverage of the 2018 NFL playoffs. What a start to our playoffs on Wildcard Weekend as we got a hell of a ball game. Tennessee Titans coming away with the 22-21 victory over the Kansas City Chiefs. I got three takeaways or three things that I want to say first before I jump into my breakdown. Number one, hell of a ball game. Titans down big at halftime, 21-3. It was funny. My girlfriend said at halftime, man, this one looked like it could get out of control. And I said, yeah, it does. I said, but two halves to a game, one, and two, I've seen the Chiefs blow a big lead, i.e. Indianapolis a couple of years ago on the road. I've seen them blow big leads in the playoffs before, so I would not count the Titans out. I didn't expect the Titans. When I said that, though, I said it tongue-in-cheek. I didn't expect the Titans to actually come back and win this football game. That being said, hell of a ball game. Number two, NFL, please keep Jeff Triplett away from the rest of my playoff games. I never wanted him in here in the first place. You see why. Any game Jeff Triplett is near, first and foremost, the rest of the officials had to be terrible for him to be elected as one of the all-star officials to do a playoffs game. This guy is terrible. You saw the confusion. You saw the issues. You saw the problems, the misspotting of the ball on a first down by Corey Davis. They marked the ball literally 2 yards behind where it ended up being marked. I mean, what are these guys doing? They're bumbling. They're stumbling. They're poor officials, and it's always Jeff Triplett. Please keep him away from the rest of my postseason games. Thank you. And number three, come on. You had to love Sean McDonough's voice going out at the end of this this game when he thought it was a fumble. In the all-time leading tackler in Chiefs history. You gotta love that. That was amazing. Even though it didn't count, I couldn't stop laughing at that. I had to rewind it and watch it a couple of times. But in any event, hell of a football game. Titans advanced to the divisional round, where most likely the New England Patriots will be waiting on them. They, of course, will have to wait the outcome of the game tomorrow, because if the Bills win, then they'll be heading to Pittsburgh instead of New England. Either way, they're going to be sacrificial lambs, which I'll talk about a little bit later on. But nonetheless, they get the win. Marcus Mariota, despite some of the struggles, and he's a long way away from being where he needs to be to take this team to the next level. He was outstanding in the second half of this game. Still missed a ton of throws, made some mistakes, but he made the plays just like last week. He made the plays when they had to be made, and Marcus Mariota looked a lot better in this game than he did for the vast majority of the second half of this season. Like I said, still missed some throws, still made some mistakes, but he made the plays that winning players and quarterbacks make in this league to get their team the victory. And so a lot of credit needs to be given to him. And this is the Titans team that I fell in love with. Remember, I've been riding this Titans team's coattails all season long. I told you before the season started, I expected them to win the division. I thought they were going to take the step. I thought they were going to make the playoffs, win the division. I was wrong about that, but they did make the postseason. But I've been saying this all season long. They're a physical football team, and they wore the Chiefs down and out in the second half of this game. That's the Titans team I fell in love with. Right there. The team that bludgeons you to death with the run game. Marcus Mariota, you saw his numbers on play action fake. I talked about that in the preview and predictions. I said this guy throws the football as good as any quarterback over the middle of the football field, the touchdown to Decker, the go-ahead score over the middle of the field. He throws it as good over the middle of the field as any quarterback in this league. And play action fake is his calling card. You saw the numbers. 9 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, 112 passer rating, all kinds of nonsense. When he's going out of play action fake, the numbers are terrible. the other way around. Four touchdowns, 12 interceptions when just throwing the football on regular dropbacks. So again, play action fake. This team runs it so effectively when they make a dedication to run the football and they can wear down the opposing team. And I told you in the preview and predictions, the Chiefs can't stop the run. And there were two major injuries in this game. We'll talk about that when we get to Kansas City's side of things. I want to start with the Titans in this game and what allowed them to come away with this victory. Let's start with the offense because let's start with the defense because the defense, after the slow start, giving up touchdowns on the first two possessions of the game and really looking as if they couldn't stop. You know what this reminded me a lot of? The Rose Bowl. Remember the first two possessions of that game? Georgia looked like they could not stop. Like they were incapable of stopping Oklahoma and Baker Mayfield. It looked like it was going to be a rout. Looked like Oklahoma was going to score 50-some-odd points, which ultimately they came close to doing, but it took several overtimes for that to happen. It looked like it was going to be a runaway win for Oklahoma. This looked eerily similar early. Straight down the field for the Chiefs. They didn't look like they had an answer on the defensive side of the football, did the Titans. Dick LeBeau rallies the troops, calls them into a little group meeting, huddle, what may have you. Lets them all look, guys, settle down. I know it's the playoffs. I know you guys are playing with a little bit of nerves. Settle down. We're fine. We can play with these guys. You have to play assignment football. Just go out and make plays and do your job and we'll be fine. And they settled in. And despite giving up the touchdown right before the half on what amounts to a little bit of a defensive breakdown there, the corner playing cover two, look, you got to stay with that receiver on the outside. And I'd like to think that that was some form of cover three, but it might have been cover two. Either way, you can't allow that receiver up the sideline and really unmolested. And you didn't give any time for Kevin Byard to get over there and try to make a play. In any event, all of that is irrelevant. You give up the touchdown before the halftime break. And what really happened in the second half was, the Titans offense dominated the second half of this game, really keeping that Titans defense fresh and really out of harm's way. Two, Travis Kelce was out of the game. And again, I'm going to talk about that when we get to the Chiefs side of things. But that really made it a lot simpler for this Titans defense. They had no answer for Travis Kelce. And had he played this game, instead of them having to throw to Orson Charles on a key third down, I think the Titans would have been in trouble defensively in the second half of this game. But again, that's nor here nor there. That's not their problem. Big hit by Jonathan Cyprien to basically put Travis Kelce out of this ball game. But and the last thing in the second half is they got off the field on third downs for the most part. There was a couple of critical third downs late in the game. They were able to get off the football field. And so credit that defense for ratcheting it up, playing much better after the slow start, and giving the offense a chance to find their footing and finally get it going. Had they continued to struggle defensively, had they given up more plays. Remember the sudden change of possession after Dory Jackson muffs the punt and gives the Chiefs the football, 1st and 10 inside the 40-yard line. The defense comes onto the field, sudden change of possession defense, gets the stop, forces a long field goal attempt that Harrison Butker, who has been one of the better field goal kickers in the National Football League this season, forces him to miss. Playoff brings pressure, busts pipes, and the Chiefs weren't able to handle the pressure that the Titans were able to deliver in the second half of this game. You have to give credit to that Titans defense. I thought that Cyprien had a strong game, whether he was in coverage or coming up and supporting in the run or making tackles. I thought he was strong in this game. I thought they did a lot of good things up front. Jarrell Casey leading that group. I thought they were very sound in their rush lanes because Alex Smith, much like Marcus Mariota, can hurt you outside of the pocket, extend plays, make things happen with his legs. I thought the Titans did a great job of not only spying Alex Smith, but also having that must rush of sorts and not over pursuing, not going up the field and creating easy rush lanes, but rather watching Alex Smith, seeing where he's trying to go and collapse in the pocket. And when he tries to escape, coming up, back up the field, peeling back up the field and getting to him before he can make something happen. The Titans defense was outstanding in the second half of this game. Again, a lot of the credit needs to be given to the Titans offense. Speaking of which, let's get to the Titans offense in this game and how they were able to come back down 21-3 and win this game 22-21. The offense was outstanding in the second half, and the key was Derrick Henry. I've said it all season long. The Titans' identity, when they lose, they don't establish themselves in the identity that they've carved out. There's a niche. There's a a little bit of a track record that precedes the Titans. They're known for running the football. When you play the Tennessee Titans, you expect run, and more run, and play action fake. And whether it's the running backs, Murray and Henry, or Mariota, they're supposed to run it down your throat. And when you're looking for a run, that's when they go play action fake, and Delanie Walker can hurt you. And so I said Delanie Walker was going to be the key. Obviously, the Chiefs weren't listening because he still got his 6 or 7 catches for over 70 yards, and he was a big fixture in the offense. I said, I don't know where this team would be without Eric Decker. They talked about all the drops, and I said, that's fine. But they still wouldn't be where they are without Eric Decker. And you see he made arguably the biggest catch of the game. I said, where's Jonnu Smith? Where's some of these other guys that we haven't seen? Jonnu Smith with a huge catch on a 3rd down late in this ball game to extend the drive, which ultimately led to the touchdown that gave them the lead. So there were some huge plays in this game made by the Titans offensively, but it all starts with number 8. Marcus Mariota was the man in the second half of this game, using his legs time and time again. A big run late in this game, down the sideline on a 3rd down. Now, it would have been a 1st down anyway, as they call holding on Marcus Peters, but it didn't matter. Marcus Mariota runs on that particular play for about 17, tack on an additional 5. He was outstanding using his legs, which we saw last week against Jacksonville. Late in that game, the stiff arm to will his team to a victory. You saw it in this game, the block that he threw for Derrick Henry on the game-sealing run to run out the rest of the clock. Mariota putting his body on the line, but he made some big throws in this game. The 3rd down conversion to Jonnu Smith, the 3rd down conversion, which was probably his most impressive throw of the game, to Delanie Walker. He never saw Justin Houston dropping into zone coverage, but he zinged it in there where it had to be before he could react and make a play to convert on a critical 3rd down to keep that drive alive. Some great throws to Corey Davis, one on a slant that had to be where it was for Corey Davis to be able to catch it and get yards after the catch. Mariota was outstanding. He missed some throws in this game, okay? We'll talk about the interception. We'll talk about the missed throw. Corey Davis streaking down the sideline. He missed some throws in this game. He could have been a lot better. This team could have scored more points, but when the game was on the line, Marcus Mariota saved his best for last, and that's what you want out of your quarterback. He's been under a lot of scrutiny this season because of the way he's played, because of more touchdowns to interceptions, because of his seemingly regression this season, the seemingly step that he's taking back this season. This was a big win for him. This was a big win for Mike Mularkey because, as I said in my coaching carousel video with the Titans, I said, look, just because they made the playoffs doesn't ensure that he's keeping his job. And the way the first half went, if it would have continued in the second half, Mike Mularkey was getting fired. And so this is a big win for the Titans, a big win for Mariota, a big win for Mike Mularkey. The offense came alive. The offensive line must be given credit. How many times did we see Derrick Henry initially run up the backs of his linemen and then bounce it outside because they stayed on their blocks? I told you this Chiefs run defense is deplorable. And if they were able to get enough opportunities, they were going to be able to wear them down and Derrick Henry would make a difference. And that's ultimately what happened. I did not expect the Titans offensively to score the amount of points that they did. I did not expect the Titans to convert it as well on 3rd downs in the second half of this game. I thought we would see more of what we saw in the first half, a team that struggled. I expected them to make it a more competitive game. I did not expect them to be able to do enough offensively. The team that I saw in the last quarter of the season, and this is why we talk about the postseason being a new season, because you have a chance to wipe the slate clean. The team that I saw in the last quarter of the season, the regular season, offensively just wasn't good enough. They simply weren't good enough to score the amount of points that it was going to take to win tonight. And the offense came alive. Derrick Henry in the run game was paramount to the success of the Titans, and they get it done 22-21. We'll come back. We'll talk about some of the turnovers. The decision for Mike Mularkey to go for 2 after the first touchdown of the second half, I absolutely hate that decision, or excuse me, the second touchdown, the first touchdown in the fourth quarter. Hate that decision. We'll come back and revisit that. I want to talk about the Chiefs and why they were unable to hold on and salvage a 21-3 halftime lead. Let's talk about the Chiefs, and let's start with the offense because there were 2 injuries that really impacted the Chiefs in this football game, one on both sides of the football. Obviously, the first one that comes to mind is the injury to Travis Kelce. When he was in the game, in the first half. The offense looked damn near unstoppable. He got hurt on the last possession right before halftime. They ended up scoring a touchdown on that possession, but the Titans were able to make some adjustments. It's not the same when it's Demetrius Harris. It's not the same when it's Orson Charles. But nonetheless, you still have to, and this is my problem with the Chiefs. Andy Reid was calling the plays, as you saw, and he took the play calling away from the gentleman that had the play calling after the struggles, the 5-game losing streak and the subsequent 4-game winning streak. He turned over the play calling, and he took it back tonight, and you could tell because they started to do some of the things that irritated me, and that kind of facilitated the 5-game losing streak. I said in the preview for this game, the key to the Chiefs' offense is running the football. They must remain balanced. I mean, look up and see how many times Alex Smith threw the football. It's got to be somewhere around 40 times in this game. Look at the amount of carries when it flashes through the screen. Look at the amount of carries that Kareem Hunt has in this game. I guarantee you it's less than 15. That's a problem for me because this is a team that, and he had success. If you look at his numbers, he had success. I bet you he's averaging somewhere in the vicinity of 4 yards a pop. They ran it effectively early in this game. They stopped. They were too pass happy. When they were up 21-10 after the Titans scored their first touchdown, they came out throwing the football, and they ran it as an afterthought. That's a problem for me. In the games that they lost this season when they had no business losing, to the Jets, to the Giants, in those games that they lost, that they had no business, look at Kareem Hunt's carries. Look at the number of carries. The guy led the league in rushing for a reason, yet when the game was seemingly in hand, you went away from what was working early, which was Kareem Hunt and the balance of the run game, balancing out the passing game, allowing Alex Smith to be comfortable in the pocket, and you instead put the game on the shoulders of Alex Smith and asked him to go win it with his right arm, missing arguably his biggest target in Travis Kelce. I hate that game plan. I hate that mindset, and I thought it was very costly. Look, the defense didn't do you any favors in the second half of this game, which we'll get to in a second. But to go away from what works, to go away from what got you the 4-game winning streak and salvaged your season and allowed you to win the AFC West with a 4-game winning streak to finish up the season, to me is the reason you lost this game. And shame on you, and you deserve to lose the game. You had ample opportunities to put this game away. You had ample chances to win this game, and you blew it. You threw this game away. You have no one to blame but yourself. And so the offense, I thought, from a standpoint of play calling, was absolutely atrocious, and it cost this team the game in the second half. You have to run. You're up 20. Ask the Atlanta Falcons. What do you do with a big lead? You run the football. You did the same thing the Falcons did in the Super Bowl against the Patriots. You were pass happy, and it cost you this ball game again. The defense didn't do you any favors. You didn't get a ton of opportunities in the second half, but the opportunities that you did get, you basically went 3 and out, and that's because you didn't make a concerted effort to run the football. And I would have loved to have seen you run it on first down. A lot of the times when you ran it in the second half, it was runs on 2nd and 10 where you're looking to run against a stacked box. They're expecting you to run because most teams in the league are so predictable after they throw a pass on first down. If it's incomplete, no one wants 3rd and 10. So the prevailing thought, and I hate the fact that teams do this, if you're going to throw it on first down, you better be prepared to throw it 3 times, okay? The prevailing thought in this league is, oh, incomplete on first down, better run it and get 2 yards on 2nd down. That's dumb. 3rd and 10, 3rd and 8. What are we talking about? Apples, bananas, pears, oranges? Who gives a damn? Okay? If you're going to throw it on first down, you better be prepared to throw it on 2nd down if you don't complete a pass on first down to pick up some yards. So you're looking to run it on 2nd and 10. Well, the Titans know you're looking to run it on 2nd and 10. You got cute on the 3rd down. Okay? Again, you're a smash mouth football team, yet you want to get, and this is Andy Reid, and I told you about getting cute and prissy and pretty and doing all of these unnecessary creative things when all you need to do is give it to Kareem Hunt, smash mouth downhill, and tell the Titans to stop you. On 3rd and 1, you want to go speed option to the outside. Alex Smith loses a yard. You got to kick a field goal. You get nothing because you missed the kick. That's exactly what you deserve because you went away from what worked during your 6-1 start to the season and your 4-game winning streak to finish up the season. You reverted back to the 5-game losing streak offensive mentality, and that got you beat in the second half of this game. You go to the defensive side. I thought it was a nice start to the game defensively. Hell, a nice start to the first half of the game for the Chiefs defensively. The big injury on that side of the ball, Chris Jones, the minute he left this game, they started getting gutted right up the middle of this defense in the run game. And to make matters worse, he's their best interior pass rusher. There was zero pass rush on Marcus Mariota once Chris Jones left this game. So that was a very damaging injury, because after he got injured, they started to run the football at will down the throats of the Chiefs, who were very soft. Not only up the middle, but on the outside as well. Frank Zombo and Sorensen, those guys did a terrible job of setting a physical edge and making sure they contained the outside. How many times did Derrick Henry bounce it outside after going up the middle initially? How many times did he get to the outside, including the game-sealing run? How many times did he get to the outside because this defense didn't set a physical enough edge in the run game? But I want to take you back to the first quarter, maybe early stages of the second. The Chiefs had a chance to put this game away. And you know what play I'm talking about. Derrick Henry is stripped of the football by Kevin Pierre Louis, or as I like to call him, Kevin Pierre Louie. Okay, ball is on the carpet, and all KPL has to do is cover the football. Nope, he wants to be a hero. He wants to scoop and score. Knocks the goddamn football out of bounds. If he just recovers the damn ball, my goodness, you're gonna win this game. You're gonna blow these boys out. They were shell-shocked at that point, down 14-0. Game just started and they're already getting their ass whooped. They've never been here before. They can't ask anybody what to do because nobody on the team's been here except for Dick LeBeau. Everyone else is a stranger to the postseason. So they're looking around like, what the hell do we do? If he just recovers that fumble, they're going to score another touchdown. They can't stop Travis Kelce. They can't stop Kareem Hunt. They can't stop Tyreek Hill. They can't stop anybody at that point in the game. It's 21-0. This game's over. It's done. Instead, he fumbles it out of bounds. It allows the Titans to stay alive in this game. And you know what's so funny and ironic is when that play happened, I said to myself, and you know, I say these things, but I usually say them to myself like tongue-in-cheek, like, I'll store this away. But I said to myself at the time, if they lose this game, I'm going to look back at that play and say that was a big-time miss by the Chiefs, a missed opportunity in a game in the postseason where you can't afford missed opportunities. But again, I put that one in the memory bank thinking that I would never have to go back into the vault, open it up, and pull that out. I didn't think they were going to lose this game because I didn't think the Titans had enough offensively to get it done. But the one thing that was their saving grace, and I said it, was the Chiefs' run defense, which it let them down in this game. And that's been the problem. And remember, after that Monday night win versus the Redskins in Week 4, I said, if the Chiefs don't maximize their season, because this is a good football team, if they don't maximize this season, it will be because of their defense. They're not good on that side of the football. I told you that then. I reiterated it several times throughout the course of the season. And you saw it rear its ugly head tonight. And it was the reason they lost this game, because in the second half, the defense could not get off the field. Marcus Mariota and that Titans offense looked like the New England Patriots on third downs. They could not be stopped. They converted third down after third down after third down. Look at the first possession of the second half. The one where Marcus Mariota throws a touchdown pass to himself, which was an outstanding play. And at the time, I thought it would be all for naught. But that's Marcus Mariota being a playmaker, being a baller when his team needs him. Look at how long that drive was. That drive was damn near 10 minutes. It started at 15 minutes, obviously, because it was a touchback to start the second half. They scored with about 6 minutes and 19 seconds left in the third. They ate up 9 minutes and some change of the second half clock on one possession. Insane. This team struggled on defense in the second half to get the Titans off the field. And what it did was it tired themselves out, put them in a very bad spot to try to stop the run, which they already were at a stark disadvantage of because Chris Jones' injury, and they're just not good at stopping the run. And what it did was it stopped their offense from having a number of opportunities in the second half to try to score points and put some distance between them and the Titans. Now, they did have the football. They had their opportunities. They didn't make the most of it, which it turned into a vicious cycle. The offense goes 3 and out. A tired defense puts back on the field, and the Titans took full advantage. So it was just all bad for the Chiefs in the second half of this game, and the Titans took full advantage. I want to go back to some of the things that were done in this game, some of the decisions that were made. One of the ones that I thought was a very costly one that I thought was going to come back and bite the Titans was the decision to go for 2 after the first touchdown in the fourth quarter, the one that cut the deficit to 21-16. Mike Mularkey, I thought, was going to get fired off of that decision and that decision alone, because at that point, you scored on the first play of the fourth quarter. You've got to know in your mind, I'm at least getting 2, probably 3 possessions. If the game goes a lot slower, maybe even 4 more possessions, but you can't think about 4. You've got to think in your mind, I'm getting at least 2, probably more realistically, I'm going to get the football at least 3 times in the fourth quarter. I can't go for 2 right now, because if I go for 2 and I don't get it, it's going to be 21-16. Now, if the Chiefs kick a field goal, I'm going to need another touchdown and another 2-point conversion just to tie the game up. Then you've got to think to yourself, if I kick the extra point and I am able to score another touchdown, then I'm up 3. They're going to need a field goal just to tie. There are so many different things that you've got to take into consideration. You cannot go for 2 there. It almost backfired on the team, because then they had to go for 2 again. They had to go for 2 again, and you saw why they were 0-5 last year and why they haven't went for 2 this season, because they're not good in those situations. They've been a bad red zone team. Mariota threw a red zone pick, even though that was poor spacing on that play, and it was a poor play call by the coaching staff, because why are you running that kind of concept where you're running a clear out and a corner route on the same side of the field? Why are you running it to the short side of the field where there isn't a lot of space? If you're going to run that kind of play, you want as much space from the hash to the sideline as you can possibly get, so that it will allow the space necessary. It's already condensed as it is, because you're at the 22-yard line, so it's not a lot of space as it is. You need more width in that particular setting. You don't need a confined area in the short side of the field. They set Marcus Mariota up for failure on that particular play. Great play by the Kansas City Thief, Marcus Peters, to eyeball him in zone coverage and jump the route. But in any event, this Chiefs team simply didn't do enough in the second half. Mike Mularkey got away with one because he went for 2 twice, which you just can't do in this league. If you don't have to go for 2, don't be like Mike Tomlin. Don't be an idiot and start going for 2 at random times. Just because it's fourth quarter now, all of a sudden, gotta look at my chart, it's the fourth. You gotta go with the flow of the game. It was the first play of the fourth quarter. You don't go for 2 there. I thought it was gonna cost them. I thought they were going to lose this game 24-22, and everybody was gonna be second guessing that decision to go for 2. It luckily worked out for him. His defense came and made plays for him and got them out of this game with a 21-22 victory over the Kansas City Chiefs, who seem to be cursed. I can't describe it any other way other than they're cursed. They can't find a way to win in the postseason. It is just so disheartening if you're a Chiefs fan, because you had no business losing this game. None whatsoever. And to make matters worse, that was the last game Alex Smith will play in a Chiefs uniform. He is done as a Kansas City Chief. And it wasn't his fault that you lost this game tonight. Some key injuries, a drop by Orson Charles on a 3rd down. Was it the best pass in the world? No. Was it catchable? You damn right it was. They made the mistakes in this game. And the Titans had some opportunities that they missed. But you got to find a way to make plays. You got to find a way to make plays. And the Chiefs didn't make enough of them in the second half. They didn't run the football enough. The defense couldn't get off the field. The defense couldn't stop the run. And wow, Titans, 22 points, 19 of which unanswered in the second half, as they come away with a 22-21 victory to advance to the divisional round, where most likely they'll take on the New England Patriots. They're going to get their ass whooped next week, because they're not where they need to be as an offense to challenge the Patriots. But one thing they can do, which will give them a shot in that game, is run the football. And they should have DeMarco Murray next week. I think he'll be able to play next week. But I like Derrick Henry. I want to see him get the bulk of the carries and the lion's share of the work. And they're going to have a shot if they can run the football. If they can't, I just don't see them staying in that game. I liken it to the Steelers game on a Thursday night where they just got destroyed in the second half of that game. I see the same thing happening against the Patriots. But we'll see. Don't worry about that game right now. Celebrate! You just advanced in the wild card weekend of the postseason to the divisional round with a 22-21 road victory over the Chiefs. You were down 21-3 at halftime. Miraculous comeback. Celebrate! You had no business winning this game, and you pulled a rabbit out of your hat and a victory out of your ass, and you deserve to move on. And Marcus Mariota, boy, was he clutch in the second half of this game. Let's get to any comments. I think the other game is going to be starting here shortly, so I won't keep you guys much longer, but I do want to get to some of your comments and talk about this game quickly. And make sure that you subscribe to the Louie T Network if you haven't already done so for more great content in 2018 and beyond. We're changing the game over here. Want you to help us do that by simply hitting that subscribe button and becoming a member of the Louie T Network. And if you can, please donate. Are also down in the description of this and every single video I do. So if you can and are generous enough to do so, please donate to the Louie T Network. That being said, let's get to some comments quickly before I jump into that Falcons Rams game, and we'll be live after that game as well. Atlas says, God, the Chiefs are just awful. What the F happened to this team in the postseason? Wouldn't shock me if Reed's head rolls after this game. I don't think he's going anywhere, but I tell you what, his lack of postseason success in Kansas City is frightening. The epic loss to the Colts in a similar game to this. A lot bigger lead was blown in that game. I think it was 31-7. In that game, another blown lead here. It's not looking good for Andy Reid, but I don't think he's going anywhere. Atlas also says, also, I hardly think this makes Malarkey's job safe either. His team was just slightly less awful and more lucky this week. I beg to differ. They were lucky, but they made their breaks. Luck is about opportunity and being prepared to take advantage of opportunities that come your way. I felt like Malarkey did enough in the second half to win this game, and he deserves to keep his job. He's not getting fired after this by winning this game. Clean Senpai says, I warned people that the Titans could upset, and I think there will be some more upsets to come. There may be, just not by the Titans. I'm not buying what they're selling. They got away this game because the Chiefs aren't a good defense, and the Chiefs simply didn't execute in the second half, and some key injuries. Let's not forget about those. But like I said, give credit to the Titans. They took this game from the Chiefs. The Chiefs didn't give this game to them. The Chiefs gave them opportunities to take this game from them, and the Chiefs, or the Titans, did happily oblige. Dark Sealer says, Alex Smith being Alex Smith, the Chiefs being the Chiefs. Why are we surprised? Andy Reid needs to go. This loss was horrendous. Happy New Year, Reid. Atlas says, agreed, refs yet again completely F up a game, and it's been happening all damn year. Jeff Triplett is clueless. I don't know how the hell he made it to the postseason as one of the best officials. Again, I will never understand how he is in the postseason because he is terrible. Reed says, could Andy Reid's seat be getting a little warm? A little bit, yeah. I think this loss makes them think twice about Andy Reid and just how good of a postseason coach he is. But I don't think he's going to get fired after this loss. But, hey, stranger things have happened. This was a bad loss, so we'll see what happens. Buffalo pregame says, unbelievable comeback. Good for the Bills. NFL draft, and yes, believe it or not, though the Bills made the playoffs, people are still thinking draft. Yeah, because it doesn't look good for you tomorrow. But, hey, look, the Titans won on the road. So can you. We'll see what happens. Jay Moose says, man, they finally gave the ball to Henry, and look what happens. I could have used this in fantasy all year. I bet you could have. Craig Smith says, never thought I'd say this, but it may be harder to root for KC than to be a Chargers fan. I don't envy you folk whatsoever. I'll take my disappointment in the regular season. Buffalo pregame says, feel bad for Alex Smith. He gets no credit, and Andy Reid did play too much prevent. I don't know, but Alex Smith needs more respect. He does. He didn't lose this game for them. He played as well as he could play with the limited weapons that he had. After the injury to Kelsey, he was very limited. That last fourth down throw, you can't throw that to a 5'9", 5'10", receiver in Albert Wilson over the middle and expect him to come down with that. Orson Charles on the key third down. I mean, they were in a tough spot, you know, after the injury. So that was tough. And Mr. TNA says, Lou, that defense played very bad to start, and the receivers did not get open, and Henry did not run the ball well. Mariota took it by himself. He made plays and made the rest step their game up. Mariota was huge in the second half. Mariota with the touchdown catch for himself. Mariota with the clutch runs. Mariota with some key throws. And then Mariota with the clutch block at the end. Mariota did it in the second half. And in the fourth quarter when his team needed him the most, he stepped up. Pepe, the YouTuber, says, Patriots going to play either the Titans or Bills. Gee, I wonder who's going to be in the championship game. Look, I already said, it doesn't really matter. To me, the AFC playoffs are inconsequential because when it's all said and done, I've been saying this since like week 3. It's going to be Steelers and Patriots. The question wasn't, were those two teams going to get there? It's just where the game is going to be played. We saw what happened in week 15, so we know where the game is going to be played. It's going to be played in New England, and I don't feel any differently now than I did then, and so we'll see what happens. But Marcus Mariota was outstanding in the second half of this game. Real Fact says, are we overlooking the Titans or the Chiefs? Just classic choke in the postseason? No, we're not overlooking anything. I don't even call it a choke necessarily. I just think that some injuries happened and the Chiefs didn't execute in the second half of this game and they had to pay for it. Atlas says, this game was all Chiefs choke, man. I'm not a fan of either team, but this was painful to watch for Kansas City. Look, it's one thing if they were better than what we saw. This is who the Chiefs have been all season long. They haven't been good on defense. You can run the football down their throats. And if they don't run the ball, they're in trouble. It's a recipe for disaster. They didn't run the football. It's a recipe for disaster in the second half. They did all of the things that got them in trouble this season. All of the things everyone, including myself, told them not to do. They did it in this game, and they deserve to lose. Bam says, great work. Hey, I appreciate it, Bam. And big win for your Titans, man. Congratulations again. Mr. TNA says, this win shows a lot for Mariota, who's done it all. Block, throw, run also shows those receivers cannot separate, and the running game is not good enough. It's such a small chance next game. It is. And I agree to a degree that the receivers don't do a good enough job of separating from Marcus Mariota. But then again, I didn't look at the all 22s to see what he's looking at. But Corey Davis is going to be fine. He's a rookie. I think they'll be okay. Delaney Walker came up big like he always does. And they got to run the football. That's the key to the Titans offense. They need to run the football. I'd love to see them stretch the field a little bit more, go vertically. To me, they don't do that enough to loosen up the defense. But we'll see what happens. In any event, Bam also says, how about my Titans, man? That was big. I didn't see that coming. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to sit here and act as if I predicted a Titans victory because I didn't. I did not see the Titans finding a way to win this game, and that was an epic comeback win for the Titans. Reby says, sad to lose a 21-3 lead. I love Andy Reid, of course. I was rooting for him, but now I feel like they didn't deserve to move forward in the playoffs. I thought they had their mojo back. I did as well, but I knew that in the back of my mind, I said, look, the Chiefs' defense, I've said it all season long, that's their one Achilles heel. And if something's going to stop them from winning, it's going to be that damn defense. And it came back and bit them in their ass tonight. Mr. TNA says Titans defense was so damn bad in the first half. It was. No, first quarter. They were much better in the second quarter, and they were lights out in the second half. Reese says they should tell Mike Mularkey that his job is on the line every game. He got those boys to play in the second half. I don't know what he said to him at halftime. And actually, I do know what he said to him because they reported on the sidelines that he told them we were here. We were in this same exact spot. We were down big. We had to rally back, and we had to come back and show our mettle. Our mettle was tested, and we had to show our intestinal fortitude and win here last year. We can do it again, and they did it again. He called it. He called his shot. Reby says, going for it on fourth down didn't seem like a good decision to me. Where was Hunt? I thought they needed to go for it at that time in the game on fourth down, 4th and 9 from about the 40-yard line. They were too far for a field goal, too close to punt. With the amount of time that was left, you're talking about 2 minutes and 30 seconds left. I thought it was the right decision to go for it there. I didn't love the decision to go to Albert Wilson over the middle of the field, but the options were limited at that point. And Tyreek Hill was a non-factor in the second half, which, again, they went away from what works. The recipe for success is Kelsey, Hunt, Hill, and Smith. They went away from that in the second half. You didn't see Hunt. You didn't see Kelsey for obvious reasons. And you didn't see Hill. And that cost them the game to me. Mazer_12 says, this is Gruden's last game calling the wild card on Monday night for a while. Wow. Well, it's not for a while. He's done. I mean, he's going to be the Raiders coach for at least the next 5 to 7 years. He signed a 10-year deal, so you know he's not going anywhere anytime soon. Atlas says, I hope Gruden brings all the ESPN commentators with him to the Raiders job. Commentary has only gotten worse as the years have gone on. Hey, I just got a kick out of the call of the return fumble that wasn't by Sean McDonough. And the Chiefs all-time leader in tackles, Derek Johnson. Oh, man, that was hilarious. But in any event, the game's on. Let me let you guys go. Hell of a win by the Titans in this game. I didn't see this coming. I really didn't. But the Titans, down 18 at half, scored 19 unanswered second half points, make all the plays, and win the game 22-21 to advance to the divisional round of the postseason. Well, either the New England Patriots or Pittsburgh Steelers will await them in the second round. What a win. What a loss. What a debilitating loss for the Chiefs in what is probably the last game for Alex Smith in a Chiefs uniform. He didn't do anything wrong in this game. Some key injuries, some untimely mistakes, some bad play calling, and some poor run defense cost the Chiefs in this football game. Titans move on 22-21. Chiefs go home with another epic loss in the postseason. I'm your man, Louie T, signing off. Enjoy the nightcap, the first wild card game in the NFC, 3-seeded Los Angeles Rams hosting the 6-seeded Atlanta Falcons. We'll be back at the conclusion of that game to break it all down just like we were for this one. I'll see you then. I'm your man, Louie T, signing off. Enjoy the nightcap. We'll break it all down here on the Louie T Network. See you a little bit later on. Enjoy the rest of the game.